One day. That's how long it took after the U.S. Senate advanced a bill to ban Chinese vehicle technology for Ford, an American icon, to announce it's handing part of one of its own factories over to a Chinese automaker. Let's talk about what's actually happening at Ford's Almussafes plant in Spain, and why this deal is a lot bigger than it sounds. First, the plant itself. Ford's Almussafes facility near Valencia was once the company's largest plant outside the United States, built to produce 450,000 vehicles a year. Right now, it's running at less than a quarter of that capacity, mostly building the Ford Kuga plug-in hybrid. That's an enormous amount of idle factory space sitting mostly unused. On July 23rd of 2026, Ford and Geely made it official. They're forming a joint venture at that plant, Ford holding 66% of it, Geely holding the remaining 34%. Spain's prime minister personally showed up to the factory to help announce it. Here's the actual plan. The Kuga keeps being built at the plant without interruption. But starting in 2028, that same facility will also produce a new Ford Bronco, two separate Geely electric SUVs, and an entirely new multi-energy crossover, jointly designed by both companies together. Long-term, the companies say the plant could scale back up to around 500,000 vehicles a year, essentially restoring it to its original planned capacity, just with two competing brands sharing the line instead of one. Here's a detail that makes this feel less random than it sounds. Ford and Geely already have history. 16 years ago, Geely bought Volvo cars directly from Ford. The same Chinese company Ford is now partnering with, once bought one of Ford's own brands off of them. So why would Ford actually want this? For Ford, it solves a real problem. A massive factory running at a quarter capacity, with the Kuga alone not enough to justify keeping it fully staffed long-term. Sharing the line cuts Ford's fixed costs and protects local jobs at a plant whose future was genuinely uncertain. For Geely, the motivation is just as clear, maybe more so. Building vehicles physically inside the European Union means Geely sidesteps EU tariffs on EVs imported from China entirely, while gaining direct manufacturing access to one of the world's largest car markets. And here's the important part. This isn't an isolated deal. Stellantis already handed part of its Madrid plant over to Leapmotor, a different Chinese automaker, to build cars there this year. Chery has revived a former Nissan factory in Barcelona with a Spanish partner. BAC is now building vehicles in Andalusia. And Stellantis is building a $4 billion battery factory in Zaragoza with the Chinese battery giant CATL. Spain, specifically, has become the landing zone for this entire pattern, its prime minister actively courting Chinese automakers as a strategy to make the country central to Europe's auto manufacturing future. So here's the actual picture. While the US is legislating to keep Chinese vehicle technology out, American and European automakers are simultaneously opening the door wider on their own home turf because it solves their cost and capacity problems right now. Ford isn't doing this because it loves the idea of a rival building cars next to its own Bronco line. It's doing it because an idle factory costs money every single day it sits empty, and Geely showed up with a way to fill it. This is what actually happens when tariffs, competition, and overcapacity collide, not clean ideological battle lines, but companies quietly making deals that make financial sense in the moment, regardless of the bigger geopolitical picture playing out around them. Do you think deals like this are a smart, pragmatic solution for legacy automakers, or are they quietly handing over more ground than they realize? Let me know what you think in the comments.